Creep 2
Bada
is
bing, bada boom. We're here to talk about comics, you nerds.
Rich needs to watch the Creep movies.
Creep 2 is a cinematic masterpiece unlike any other.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the Creed movies. I didn't really care about Rocky.
No, not
Jake.
Creed.
It's fun.
Creep with a P.
Yeah.
Creep?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say, Jake, it was funny that you should mention that because last night after I came back from Kung Fu, right, my brother texted me asking, okay, me and my son are really debating this. Do you think Creed was a good movie? Because like both my brother and his son are divided on that from two opposite ends.
Oh,
One
I
thing,
never watched
one
Creed
Creed
1, but
1 Creed 1 is an okay movie. It's not good. It's not bad, in my opinion. Creed 2
gotcha.
is genuinely a good film. And then Creed 3 is good, in my opinion.
Creed 3,
Gotcha.
Creed 3's final fight is fucking phenomenal. That fight is so great. The fucking Creed versus the other guy, that shit was great. Oh my god.
What? Who the guy who was supposed to be Kang, the Conqueror?
Yeah.
They both did great in that role, and the way that fight is like the how personal that fight gets. Oh my god, that was good. So,
That guy could have legit been a Baron King and people would have been okay with it.
for sure. He just fights the Avengers and the Doomsday.
Yeah.
He challenged Captain America to a boxing match. Captain America would have done.
You know, we should have another anime night. I have watched more anime since the last one.
Same here. Yeah. Kang, you're so hyped up for a variant of you being a boxer. Well, guess who punched Hitler himself? Yeah.
Remember when people were mad about that?
Yeah, I was saying that has nothing
People
to
are
do with
still
talking
mad about that.
No, fun
Nah, I
fact:
don't
when
know.
President America first punched Hitler, America hated it. They said that
Well,
a stand-up guy.
That
How
was
dare you?
controversial. That was
Yeah.
controversial at the
That's
time.
back when America was probably going to be on the wrong side of the war.
Mhm. But hey, things worked out at the end of the day, you know.
Thanks
And
to Captain America. Thanks, Cap.
It's just crazy, like how weird politics could have been. Like if politics were any different at the time, America would be a totally different country right now. Like it's kind of insane.
oh,
That's true.
and also true fact, audience, like it's been shown in Cap's history that if it wasn't for his actions, America would have sided with the Nazis. Yeah.
Let it be known that Cap stands on the right side of history.
This is why the major waiters of Cap went into the ice to change America. He knew he couldn't do it when Steve was still around. Okay? There you go.
That's true. But,
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. All
We're
right.
a bit running late, so I guess we should just get started, huh?
Gotcha. Well, anyway, okay, let me get started. Welcome to Comic Fact Live, the reviews of the week, audience. You're here with me, Griffin Ziegler 415, here to talk to you guys about our favorite canine Deadpool later tonight. So, yay.
It's not our favorite, okay? The greatest dog is Crypto. Get it right. From the first.
What about that dog from that one movie we watched, that horror movie?
Oh, yeah. And the dog Thor for the
Thor,
werewolf film? It's not just dog. It's Crypto. This dog 1v1 a werewolf. And then he went back to finish the job when the guy could do it.
Hey, has Crypto ever stopped a firefight before? There you go.
But Thor would. Thor the dog? Absolutely. But,
Thor the dog beat a werewolf and I want to fight a legit werewolf. No bullshit.
But yeah, and next up it is Jake Tylenol. I'm gonna hit you all with sonic speed, riding on the wave of the supersonic. That's what we're gonna be doing tonight.
Ace Comics Bricky Wall. I was supposed to go before Jake. I forgot to rush in and do my intro. So I guess he's back in second place.
Yes, that's how I play my spot.
For now. Anyways, I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I'm talking about monsters, mutants, and gay people. Let's go.
Is it in that order?
Yes.
And together, maybe. And together we form the Fanatics, and we talk about the news and reviews of the week. And on our special Tuesdays, we have our Fanatic Night Reviews, where we talk about the comic books that we are all individually into, and sometimes we're all into, depends on the book. But that said, We have a couple bangers for you
I
guys tonight.
might read Absolute Flash. I don't know. I might do it.
Might.
Mhm.
So we have a couple bangers for you today. We're going to the Ultimate Universe for another monthly visit. Speaking of monthly visits, Sonic IDW is back with a conclusion to their writer's arc. I should say. We also have our
Why does
usual
Sonic
guest.
feel late?
Yeah, well, we also have Avengers Academy, our usuals, and also Bionicle as one of our other usuals as well. And also, hey, just to get you in the mood for Nosferatu coming out soon, Frankenstein is also on the menu.
Yeah.
We have this and so much more. So happy to serve you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and a comment. I don't know what has Austin laughing over there, but we also have we also have a comment. Leave a comment. Also, it helps us with the algorithm as well. Also, check out our reviews too. We reviewed some shitty movie last Sunday. Craven, that's the one. Yeah, that one. We reviewed Craven. It was terrible, but we got our good buddy, friend of the channel, Ted.
Don't
And
lie.
don't forget about
Craven the
Aquaman.
Hunter, Craven the Immaculate. There's no movie that compares to Craven the Hunter.
It's greater than
It's not
it's
the.
greater
It's
than
the.
Godfather.
Pronounce it correctly.
It is greater than The Godfather. So I've been told. I never watched The Godfather, so who knows?
I haven't either.
Yeah, well, we review so much other stuff on the channel that you can go see on our page. Also reviewed movies like Deadpool, Wolverine, Aquaman, I guess, and anime and TV shows. So go check it out. Yeah, we also have social medias. So, tell them about that.
Shit. Hello, it's me, your boy. I'm here to talk about socials. Anyways, guess what? We are so much more closer to getting 50 subscribers. So please subscribe. Please subscribble, and turn on that fucking notification bell. Like, press it. Just press it, or else I'm sending Bricky Wall after you, and you don't want him after you. Trust. And you can also follow
I'm
us
slow,
on...
but I'll get there.
He's slow but steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Just remember that. Anyways, you can also follow us on our Twitter at ComicFanatic69, where if you're lucky, sometimes I'll post art. And if you're also double lucky for our 50 subscriber anniversary celebration thing, I might be making custom art. So stay tuned for that if you subscribe. If you don't want to follow the channel and you just want to follow me, all my socials in my link tree are finally updated, so click on that. So make sure you bother Jake and Cryptid to put that in there. Mostly Jake, because I only sent it to him. But if you didn't know, you can follow me on Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U, because I do post things on there sometimes. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at witch_up_Jotunheim. And on TikTok, pretty soon, I'm going to do my New Year's North Star cosplay binge, so stay tuned for that. Wink wonk. You can also follow me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at North Star Aria. I'm trying to post on there more, but yeah, don't worry about it. Anyways, if you want to read my fan fiction, it's also in the link tree. So go to the link tree, please. That's all I'm asking. And if you want to find
ever
Bricky
get
Wall,
1,000 subscribers, will you read your fan fiction on the channel?
probably not. But go read the fan fiction, because I need to start working on the next chapter pretty soon. But guess what? Austin is a brick wall with bright blue eyes and hot pink blush. He's not that hard to find. And if you find him while he's sleeping, don't tell him this, but you can draw a dick on him. He won't get mad. Wink. If you want, Crypt is in the same spot as always because he didn't want to leave, which is Slay, I guess. And Jake Nation, where you at right now in the multiverse?
Right now, I had to make a pit stop back on Sonic's world, his world, and then we're going straight back to Metro Nui to wrap up our usual business.
My God,
listen, we are, I think, halfway through the book. So once we're done with the book, we got a brand new island for you fellas.
It's been like 90% of these years.
Yes. Well, to be fair, this is a story that takes place 1,000 years in the past. So really, it'd be about Mata Nui and Metro Nui for the span of
Oh my
1,000
god,
years.
it's the body version of Star Wars.
Yeah, yes, a long time ago on an island far, far away. So there you go. So
Yeah, no, that's it.
Oh,
Go read my fan
that's it.
fiction, please. I'm bored.
Cool.
Go ahead, Jake.
All right then. Guess with that, we should get started.
Jake, say the Voltron line
oh, form Voltron
together. No, and together we are the Fanatics. There you go.
We already said that.
Okay.
Did I
No,
not?
you
Yeah.
said that we
I
were
want you to say it
Voltron. We're
again.
not Voltron.
What? What's going on here?
Okay.
What happened? Did I forget to upload the cover? I did.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, let's get started. I'm going first. Ultimate Universe, 1 year in.
Wait.
Go to my cover, please. That is not the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
What's wrong with you? Why did you upload the cover?
I had to fix your cover earlier, Jake. Which could
We had
testify.
to fix a lot of things.
To be fair to Cricket, I actually said, Jake, can you go through my photos so I can make sure they're in the right order? I actually said that.
If you guys want to know the secret, I just looked at it last second, realized I did upload the cover. So as Krypton switched it, I uploaded the cover. So that was a little bit of a big trick. So but here it is.
Anyway, the people don't know, me and Cricket was dreading this book. Me and him are Nick Fury fans. Nick Fury Senior, as you know him now, has not been got the same treatment as he used to be. He got really downplayed because of the MCU success, and Nick Fury Jr., who is African American Nick Fury, everyone knows now. So we were excited when he was announced for this book, and then we found out he was going to be evil, and that soured everything. But this book kind of saved it for me. I might not have been in that, but I was like, I have to be here so Cryptic can hear what happens. I have to know Cryptic heard this from Cryptic.
Just to let y'all know, audience, I was ready to buy like 3 copies of this issue at my comic book shop, but yeah, y'all know my feelings on the past couple of issues I read from this run of the Ultimates from the writers. So I'm like, nah. So go ahead, explain, Austin, what happened.
So this whole book is a confession from Nick Fury. So it starts off with him looking at this family man. He's like, look at this man. What do you see? This man is a terrorist. Can you tell? And he's like, you can't tell. You see him spending time with his family, you see him doing a barbecue, you see him go to church on Sundays, but this man is a terrorist. Do you know why he's a terrorist, Cryptid?
Why?
Because he had the nerve to look at his friend one day and say, what the Ultimates have a point? And that makes him a terrorist and the makers of America.
Right, so he's like literally he's monitoring everybody in the privacy of their own home.
That is what this new ship is. Go to the first picture that you already showed.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So the helicarrier has been transformed into a attack system. It's basically the helicarrier from the Winter Soldier, where they can kill people the moment they want to kill people. But they do it with lightning strikes. They make fake clouds come on so it looks like a natural kill. Because in this timeline, shield is not a thing. It's the hand, and hand stands for Heroic Anomaly Neutralization Directory. That's whatever they said.
Okay.
They feel like they were struggling to pick something, they just made up. But that's what they chose. So this ship is covered by clouds at all times, so it can go wherever it needs to and shoot lightning and strike down whoever they need to, including innocent people who just had a different idea of death. But Nick Fury is starting to notice something's wrong. Back in the day, in World War II, when he was with Captain America, he used to be a hero. The Lions was good. He did what he had to do to protect his country, but he knew it was for the greater good. Now he don't know anymore. He don't believe that anymore. And as he does that, he walks into the room, he sees the Maker's Council. Back then, he used to answer straight to the Maker, which everything was Andy Doran. But now he has to answer to 7 people. People don't remember the Maker's Council. It's Captain Britain, Henry Duggery. Let's see who this other guy is. Emmanuel da Costa, which is Sunspot's father. If anyone doesn't
Okay.
remember,
Yeah, so it's what's dad.
but we find out. Guess what he's doing to Sunspot with?
What is he doing?
In
Using
order
him
to
as a
stay young
solar
and
powered
feel
battery.
so full of energy, he uses him as a blood bag. He constantly
good
have an
lord.
IV going from his son into his own body to make him feel young and give him super strength and speed because that mutant blood of his son is going right back in.
So funny thing that you mentioned that because I have something similar happening in Ultimate X-Men.
Oh wow.
Well, this might be the first connection any book has to Ultimate X-Men so far.
I can only imagine his father's like saying, "I brought you into this world, and you'll be keeping me in around this world," or something like that. You know.
That's basically.
Mhm.
He's more flowery when he talks like a poet. We get to
Okay.
see Magic, Colossus, and Omega
Omega
Red. Is Omega Red actually related to them in like actual 616?
No, they're just all Russian.
In this one, he's
Just-
legit a Rasputin. Like he's one of their family.
Wow.
Just straight up.
I mean, I could look it up. I just don't remember.
Just because
We'll
Just
worry about
because
that
characters
next time
are-
if it's important.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up.
hey,
we get to
Dennis
see
Camp, just
Suns.
because all characters, just because characters are from the same country doesn't mean they're all related. Just saying,
Exactly.
You know?
And apparently, all
Fuck.
see the real Rasputin from Russian history, the real guy. They're all related to him.
Oh wow. Okay, I guess.
You get to see Emperor Sunfire, but apparently he doesn't talk, and he lets Viper do all the talking for him for some reason.
Yeah.
Viper is someone different than regular lady, but we don't get to know her name in this one. We see the return of Khonshu and Ra, who just got their ass whooped by Black Panther, so they're like kind of hurting this book. And we get to see the Hulk, who's like Fury. Why are you called us here? This mean better be important. And Fury just like, I brought you all here because he's thinking about his life. So we get to see all the people we get to see him back in the good old days when he was Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So S.H.I.E.L.D. did used to exist. See him being the secret agency and working with Howling Commandos, all that stuff. And then you see the Maker come in and twist everything he believe in to the point where you already know he's working for him. But he reveals he's been keeping an eye on the whole situation with Ultron. And he's starting to believe him, which for Nick Fury is a big deal. So he basically set up all this as a trap. And the moment the clock hits 12:30, the place is supposed to blow up. Because all this was a trap. Because he knows something's wrong, and he knows life isn't supposed to be like this. So he knows he needs to kill these people before the Maker gets out. If the Maker gets out while these people are still alive, they will lose in Nick Fury's own beliefs.
Okay.
So you get to like everything he's saying is to himself in his mind, where he goes through his thought process of why he thinks stuff is weird. So I'm gonna glance over some of it. But he realized like a lot of the kills he done did, like why would the Maker go out of the way to make Nick Fury kill the Power Pack, who are babies basically with power?
What?
Instead of just taking them and just instead of just taking them and making them his own agents like he did everyone else. Why are some of these people, despite being able, you easily can get these to your side. Why are you making me kill them specifically?
Yeah.
Because there's something else going on here. So we have a good number of his kills. He killed 3D Man, the original Vision, who looked like not the robot guy, Devil Dinosaur.
He's like
Mantis.
Yeah, the original Vision looks like a what you would think of a Martian back in the 40s audience.
Yeah.
You know?
He killed Mantis. It looks like he killed Dum Dum Guggen, sadly.
No.
R.I.P.
He killed Baby Black Bolt and Lockjaw. The Power Pack has already said. He the one who gave him brain damage in this timeline. This is why he's not as smart as he could be.
Whoa.
And that is so like he was questioning that too. You made me kill the kid, but this guy you only made me get brain damage. Why? why in this specific way? Why this order?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so basically, he brought them all here. He's gonna try to blow up the helicarrier, and he's telling them it's over for y'all. I realize y'all ain't shit. Y'all did something to me, and I am not playing this game with y'all. I'm Nick Fury. And as he says this, they all laugh in his face for every single one of them.
Oh boy.
You ever see Omega Red laugh? You did it today.
Oh, okay. What happened?
And they're like, and then they say, he doesn't understand. I bet he's over there thinking to himself, I am Nick Fury. This is my last confession in his brain. Telling this story to somebody. Trying to record this for somebody. They already know this game. He tried to shoot him. Magic blocks the bullet. And then they just press a button to let someone, press a button to let someone know something. We don't find out what it is. But then Emmanuel DaCosta, Suns by father, set Nick Fury on fire and burns him death in that room. Next picture.
Oops. Was it this?
Is there another picture?
Apparently someone uploaded the same picture twice. Jake.
There's supposed to be 4 pictures, but one supposed to be him on fire. But you can go to the last picture. It doesn't matter.
I could bring that picture up. Just give me like a quick 2 minutes.
No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You go to the next picture.
Okay.
But after setting him on fire, they're like, once again, Nick Fury doesn't understand. He really thought he was gonna get the better of us. This man thought he was gonna outthink us, but the maker already thought about all this. And then they go out their way to say Nick Fury is easily replaceable because they have been making clones of Nick Fury since Captain America passed away. The Wind dies.
Oh damn.
The reason Nick Fury was working with them is that the maker got him, did something to his brain, and they were making clones because he know Nick Fury was too dangerous left alive, but he's also too dangerous to die. If Nick Fury is dead, that means Nick Fury can be revived. If he doesn't, then he wouldn't know what Nick Fury's doing. As long as Nick Fury is like this, being controlled, he believes he's winning. This was the maker's ultimate win call.
Wow.
This was his biggest threat. He said he needs Nick Fury on his side. According to his hero list, the main 3 heroes he had to stop was Spider-Man, because Spider-Man doesn't have his powers. Nick Fury, because Nick Fury controlled, and he needs to find Captain America. That was his top 3 things before his own revenge to get rewritten. And all 3 of these things have now failed in a way. And that's when we find out the Rasputin thing.
Yeah.
These people we found out the people opposing them is called the opposition. Whoever slighted them in their territory called the opposition. That's what Mystique and all of them are in. Mystique, we just found out Kitty Pryde and Gambit's in it. And we find out there used to be another member, Wolverine, who they kidnapped and turned to the Winter Soldier. And he
I did know about that.
Austin, I also have the picture of the burning Nick Fury scene. If you want me to bring it up.
No. We already in the book. Hands up.
Gotcha. But all right. I mean, that sounds.
Nick Fury was smart enough to know every time something's going on. So they had to kill him multiple times. Apparently, this is like the 15th time.
Oh wow.
But the problem is, Cryptid, Nick Fury is getting aware faster and faster. So say like, it took him a year to figure out that everything was going wrong. Now it's taking him like 6 months. Now it's taking him 2 days. Now it's taking him 1 day. Because each Nick Fury gets the memory of the last one.
Okay.
To a degree.
All right.
So the Ultimate still might end up with a Nick Fury on their side. But with an army of Nick Fury, this whole situation is going to go out of hand at any point. For all we know.
All right.
Now, like, this is a lot better than what I thought he was going to do with just Nick Fury being evil. That would have ruined it. But the idea that they're cloning him because he's too dangerous to kill, and they have to keep him alive on their side, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, it isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, personally, me
it's
speaking
still terrible fate for him.
Yeah.
But
it kind of reminds me of that dark fate that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You remember back when they had a show? They really made basically a horror montage of LMDs where okay, if you're not going to follow our interrogation, fine, we'll put your mind in an LMD and we'll program you to be obedient to us, basically, you know? Like, oh
I feel like
goddamn.
the only reason they didn't do the LMDs because they already did that with the bullseye robots and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's why they
okay.
did the clone. Because in 616, he already had the LMD thing down.
Gotcha. But
But
yeah, personally,
I'm
I
just
would have
glad he's
rather
not
them.
evil. That gives me hope for his next appearance, him meeting
Hmm.
the Ultimates.
Hmm. I mean,
But
in my mind, I was thinking Dennis Cap was going to do a whole big number on Nick Fury, but this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Personally, I would have much rather preferred the route of Nick Fury going off the grid and noticing what the Maker has been doing. Something like
I
that.
feel like he's going to reveal that one did do that, like one did get away and is doing that at some point.
Okay,
But
okay.
this issue just made me interested in Captain America finding out all this what happened. Because I know you don't like the way he writes Steve Rogers,
No,
but
not one bit.
the way Nick Fury
Not one.
talks about Steve in his book, it feels like we and him know each other for a bit. I feel like if Cap meets Nick Fury, he has to have that response that everybody reading the book just been waiting on. Instead of Cap just not saying anything or not arguing back. Like I feel like that would force him to be like, "Hey, yo, this America sucks. We need to fight back for the dream. We need a dream back. I'm about to go back to New Capital and beat this man up."
Mm-hmm. Guess some people could hope, I guess, But all right.
Yeah.
Sounds more of an enjoyable issue than I was expecting it was going to be. So, all right. I mean, this is an interesting status quo change for Nick Fury. We'll see what happens going forward. Audience.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, but I have to go now. So I'll see y'all next week, I guess.
It was nice having you, Austin. So we'll see you later.
Bye,
right.
Austin.
No problem.
Audience, say bye to Austin.
Bye.
Yeah.
So, all right. With that, let's go on to the next book. Jake.
All right. And we are back with the conclusion to the what was this arc called? The Phantom Rider arc in IDW Sonic issue 75. This is the special 75th issue cover. I'm not really a fan of it. It kind of seems boring, but I think there's like variants and stuff. It's whatever. Anyway, last time on Sonic X, Sonic and Friends had just cornered. Well,
Jake.
Jake
His review was too fast for us.
Yeah.
Jake.
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Last time we were here, Sonic's friends had cornered Clutch and gotten him to expose himself as the evil business CEO that was going to take over Restoration HQ and use its resources to basically profit off himself. So being cornered and a sore loser, Clutch decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to bomb everyone with this giant airship and kill them all. And so now the Sonic heroes have to race to stop a ship from destroying the city. Meanwhile, Sonic had just been exposed to the world as the Phantom Rider. Not that matters, because now everyone understands that Sonic was trying to save the day, so who cares? Anyway, so as we come back into the issue, we get a couple of huge reveals. Reveals for the characters, not for us, because we already knew it. Finally, we get Mimic revealed, Duo revealed as Mimic, which leads Lanolin to being like, oh, my team kept telling me this guy was a shapeshifter, but I didn't believe him the whole time. So I kind of feel like an asshole. That was for people who've been following my reviews, which I do once a month for this story. This has been something I've been waiting for a long time. So I was very excited when I saw this page. We also had Surge and Sonic face off against Clutch. I think this helped me realize, well, I already realized it, but this cemented to me, I don't like Clutch as a villain, and I'm about to show you why.
Okay.
If you would please look at the screen and see that our villain is using a gun to shoot the fastest man alive. It's like, I think at this point I'm like, you know what? This guy's just lame. Like this dude's like a loser. Like this guy.
Hey, it worked. It worked on Quicksilver in another movie, right? Right?
Yeah. And I think he says like Sonic the Hedgehog in the flesh. You caused me a lot of trouble. You know that? And then he says like, you're fast, but you're not. But no one's ever bet against my trigger finger and won, boy. But like, it's a gun, bro. Like he dodges guns every day. Who do you think you are? So yeah, so this kind of cements to me that Clutch is not really an interesting villain to fight. I think he's good in setting up problems, but he cannot be the main villain of an arc on his own because he's just not good at it. Not if he's going to go up against the Sonic heroes. In fact, Clutch is so ineffectual as a finale villain, the writers know it too, because Eggman out of nowhere shows up and joins in on the fight. It's just because Clutch can't carry the final battle by himself.
Dang.
And he comes in and he beats up Clutch, and then he's just like, "This guy's fine."
Clutch looks disappointed. He's like, "Damn."
I'm disappointed in Clutch. I like Eggman's role here. He's like, "Listen, I'm only here because you made Sonic look bad in the racing tournament, and only I can do that. And if I can't do that, you can't do that. So fuck you." And so I like the level of pettiness here. We also have Surge joining in the fight. I don't have a picture of that. There's too many pictures. I mean, you see her in the last panel here. Surge joins in the fight because Surge wants to. So here's the dichotomy between Sonic and Surge I really like. We've had this on the annual. Surge wants to be a hero because she wants the fame and attention. Sonic is a hero because he just happens to be. He doesn't really try to be a hero. He's just a good-natured dude. So I do like how that clashes. Like, Sonic would rather just team up with Surge and take care of Clutch and save the day. But Surge is just like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to kill you if you get in my way. And Sonic's like, all right, you could try, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So fuck off. This also leads to another thing I liked in the issue too. Later on, the team realizes they can't stop the airship from crashing to the city, but they can control where it crashes. So they're going to crash it to enter Restoration HQ, which is far off in the distance. The problem is there are people trapped inside. So the Sonic heroes, so Sonic challenges his friends and his arch racing rival Jet the Hawk to a race to see who can save as many people from the building as they can. I don't have the panel. It's so good. But I do like seeing Sonic and Jet actually competing because you see them try to count off how many people they save. And it's funny because at first Sonic is behind Jet, but by the end of the page they're tied, and you see Jet like, how? How is he so fast? This is so annoying. But there's another thing I liked about it too. When there comes a point where the airship crashes, and Sonic's like, well, okay, I'm gonna do one last sweep of the area, see if there's anyone in there. And Amy and others are like, well, Sonic, like it's over, like no one could survive that. And Sonic's like, yeah, it doesn't hurt to try. But I like this moment. He asks Jet, do you want to help? And Jet says no. And Sonic's response is, okay. And I like this because it proves that Sonic doesn't really judge you. If you make decisions that aren't really morally okay, Sonic doesn't really care. He's not going to be like, Jet, how could you leave those people to die? He's more going to be like, okay, sure, I'll just do it myself, you know? I thought there was a great bit of characterization for the character. But yeah. And then we also have the final part of this as well, which I really liked as well. Where at the end of the day, Jet admits that like, Sonic, listen, about our race, about to saving all the people, I'll admit that maybe we tied. But can we just have an arc later in this storyline where like it's you, me, a clean race, no conspiracies, no nothing. I just want to race you legit. And Sonic goes like, sounds fun to me. I was like, okay, yeah, I like that. I hope we do get to see that race. I know it'll probably end in a tie, but I want to see it. But there's one thing I really don't like about this. There are a couple things I don't like, other than Clutch. There's some dialogue I didn't really like. Sonic says to Clutch, like, once he's like, first I'm gonna beat you, then you're gonna apologize. And I don't think that's something Sonic would say. I don't think Sonic really cares about like what his villains think or if they change their ways after he beats them. I think in his mind he's just like, I just stopped a bad dude, I just beat him up, that's enough for me. So I thought that dialogue was a bit off. And then the big thing I don't like is, okay, I've been interested in Lanolin's potential redemption arc for the longest time. Lanolin, this arc came off really strong. In terms that I could more easily grasp. She comes across as like the John Walker of the group, where she's like, "I'm about the mission first. Everything else is just kind of irrelevant." You know what I mean? Like, your feelings are relevant.
Yeah.
And I liked that for her when I thought they were going to use that as a point of like, I thought it was going to lead to her going rogue. Like, she, for all intents and purposes, she led a team. This team didn't trust her. They lied to her, even though they were correct. From Landa's perspective, she did everything by the book, and she was shat on for it, basically. So I kind of wanted some tension there. But instead, the book opts to have Leyland be like, "Hey, guys, I realized I was wrong. I'm sorry. Can you guys forgive me?" And I'm like, I guess. It just seems kind of lame, like a wasted opportunity to really like make something interesting out of the OC Sonic characters. I would have much rather this been dragged out into an arc where it's like we get to see Lana like kind of fully come into terms with like, is her leadership valid? Is there like, are there things she has to work on, or is it everybody else's fault? Maybe it's the world that's the problem, and if she was on her own, she could have figured this out sooner. I think I just think it's a missed opportunity. I know it sounds like something that I want in the book. In terms of what's actually in the book, I just think it wraps up too quickly. I just think that the fact that she gets forgiven so easily, or that she forgives them so easily, I think is just kind of lame and uninteresting. I just think I would have liked anything other than what we got. But yeah, outside of that, I really did enjoy this arc as a whole. As terms of this issue, I think it almost doesn't stick the landing, but it does. But by the end, it kind of reclaims itself. We do have some huge ramifications. Restoration HQ is done. It's gone. It's destroyed. There is no Restoration HQ. And also, in as Sonic and Tails come home, leading into, I'm assuming, the next arc, one of the Chaos Emeralds that Sonic and Tails found in one of their the filler issues, it got stolen from their house while they were away. So Sonic and Tails will be going on an investigation for that. I think this ended strong enough, but it stumbled its way to the finish line. Overall, though, I highly enjoy this arc. This is Evan Stanley's best work on IDW by far. I always had this problem with her where I felt like where all the characters were like either too emotional or too boring. But this is like every character pops. Every character here gets their chance to shine. Even Charmy the fucking bee gets a chance to shine. Okay, so I think I highly recommend this for people who might have fallen off of IDW now that the arc is reaching its end. I highly recommend people getting back into this. And if nothing, for the art alone, because the art alone is also a W as well. I can't wait to see where some of the characters go, like Surge, where Sonic and the crew are going after this. Oh, and also, for people who thought Sega was getting rid of Sonic and Amy's relationship, they hugged twice in this story. So, there you go. So, yeah, so there's a lot to like here and a lot to recommend. Go get your Sonic IDW issue 75. Go get it for yourself. So.
There you go. Another fun read. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if there's anything we need to learn today, audience, is hedgehogs with guns don't really end well. So yeah.
Well, we'll figure that out this Thursday, won't we?
Yep, pretty much. I want to see just one scientist wanting to go out of their way to make, like, I'm gonna make the fastest gun alive. Now just you watch. This is the gun that'll kill a speedster. If you want to kill a speedster with a bullet, this is the bullet you use.
Yeah, I honestly can't believe this man took out a gun and said, "Ha, I got you, Sonic." Like, I got this. Whatever. But
gotcha. All right. I guess with that, we can move on to the next book which will be me. So, alrighty, audience, we're going to be talking about Petpool Pool Party. Yay! Yeah, I mean, this has nothing. This doesn't have. It's not like this has anything to do with Dogpool's rise in popularity out of a certain movie earlier this year, right, audience? You know, no. So anyway, yeah, like this jumbo size issue. I think this was from the Marvel Unlimited Dogpool series that they were having out that they decided to print out. It has a bunch of short stories here, but there are a lot of fun stuff here. Like the first story is like old McDeadpool's farm, right? And keep in mind, it's not just dog. He's not just living with a variant of himself as a dog. He's also living with a cat pool and a mouse pool. Audience. So yay, first appearance here. And basically the first part of the story is all about like Deadpool just reenacting the old McDonald song, but in his own little clever twist. In this case being Old McDeadpool had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm came men to harm, E-I-E-I-O. With a bad guy here and a real jerk there, here a prick, there a dick, oh so many coming quick, Old McDeadpool had a farm. All that stuff. And there were a couple funny lines in there. I don't want to go through the whole montage of the song going towards dog pool, cat pool, and mouse pool, but you can read it yourself. It's pretty funny. And actually, we even get an appearance from the dog pool from the movie. And that ugly dog. He pops up in this issue. So that very same one pops up in this issue. So look at that, audience. The MCU versions of Deadpool that released in the movie this year, they are so popular that they're actually making their way into the 616 comics.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, because let's not forget, like Spider Boy is about to be having a team up with Deadpool, with Kid Pool from the movies, and that's the actual Kid Pool, by the way. So, yeah. So there's good. I mean, there's also comes like a bunch of other fun moments in this book. Like one of the moments I liked was when Deadpool decided to walk his dog pool into a bar, right? And the bar owner is like, "Hey, there are no dogs allowed here, pal." And Deadpool's like, "Wait. Hold on a sec. This is ain't just any ordinary dog. This is a talking dog." Like, oh, really? Oh, come on, prove it. Oh, you want to see evidence? Okay, here, Dogpool. Answer me this. Okay, boy. What's on top of a house? Roof. Okay. How does Tony Stark look after a night with Emma Frost? Rough. Okay, now finish this. The greatest baseball player alive is Babe Ruth. Oh man. And the bar owner is like, "Oh come on! You must take me for an idiot just because I'm a Boston fan. Get the hell out of here, And then because also another fun tidbit about the bar owner, he has a sign saying "No dogs and no Yankees." Yeah, for all you baseball fans out there. Then later on, Dogpool actually does talk, saying, "Do you think I should said Ted Williams instead of Babe Ruth?" So the bar owner's like, okay, he can talk. Okay, you can stay. Yeah, only to find out that was actually Kid Pool who was right underneath Dogpool's chair trying to voice it out to sound like it was Dogpool talking. So yeah, a lot of fun short stories. Go read it, audience, if you want to support animal-led books. After all, because we don't get enough of those, right?
Or don't.
So.
We can't stop you.
Yeah. And heck, even the final story of this book, right, is a Santa Claus story, So go read for yourself what happens there. So, all right. With that, that's it for my book, audience. So now let's move on to the next. Which?
Oh shit! It's already my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay, give me a second. Anyways, hello. I'm here to talk about Avengers Academy issue 25. Myself am Hell. That's what it's called. So, honestly, well, I don't remember half the pictures I sent. Anyways, it's fine. So it starts off with Brielle, running and chasing the two kids from the last issue, telling them to stop. You know, she was like, "Yo, I'm not a bad guy. Like stop. I need to talk to you." And Billy's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she could see us. Like, she must be working for him." And Tommy's like, "Shut up. Split up. Meet you back at the spooky chapel." And so Brielle is trying to look for one of the kids, you know. She's like, "Hey kid, you down here? Like, what's the deal?" And guess what? There's a spooky version of her in like one of the paintings. Ooh, Jake. Ooh. And the spooky version of Brielle is like, "She kissed you and you flinched. You flinched and you lost her. What kind of love can grow from that? A twisted parody of a joke." Brielle's like, "Shut the fuck up," and punches the painting or mirror or whatever the fuck it was. She punches it. The glass and all the glass in that entire hallway breaks. It shatters. And I wish I was able to get this full shot, but I can't get the full shot. So we see Billy running down the hallway, and he's like, "It's too late. The demons, they're here." And so we see that one guy from the last issue, the one who's on the cover. He's like, "I can smell your soul. Like, do not fear. Beings like us are not meant for life. Like, I am Blackheart. And the master calls you. You must not say no. It's time to go home." And Billy's like terrified. He's like, "No, no, 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 no. She loves me. I was real." And Brielle pulls up, and she's like, one chance for an element of surprise, while Blackheart is holding Billy in his arms. And he's like freaking out over here. And guess what? Brielle pulls up with her cool crucifix like boot. And Brielle's like, "Aha, looks like pure silver works on demon types just as well as vampires. Like, how do you feel about crosses?" And so he puts her in a kind of like a chokehold type thing and forces her to use the cross on herself, as you could see in the cover, which it hurts. And Blackheart's like, "A protector, if a compromised one. Very well. Take your time, little brother. I can wait at the center of the labyrinth." And Blackheart leaves for a little bit. And little Billy is like, "It'll be back. Like, they always come back." And so Brielle like sits down with Billy, and she's like, great, a demon in the house. A real one this time. Not an S&M gas mask bondage vamp wannabe. And, you know, she got hurt by the cross sting, so it's gonna sting a little bit. And, you know, she apologizes for being bad at comforting a child. You know, like, she keeps screwing up everything, and Billy's like, "Hey, don't cry. Like, I'm Billy." And it's like, "Why are you sad?" And Brielle is like, she's like having some issues in her brain, and she's like, "My friend, she won't wake up, and I'm not who I thought I was. Like, I'm trying to be something I don't know, like all this other stuff, you know." And Billy's like, "Oh, is it because you're bad?" And Brielle's like, "What are you talking about?" And Billy's like me and Tommy, we were born bad. That's why nobody wanted us. That's why the devil is coming for us." And so Brielle looks at him, and can you switch to the next picture, please?
Sí, senor. Give me, there we go.
Thank you. She's like, "Hey, listen to me. No one's born bad. Not you, not me. Nobody. You know, I know this whole world tries to tell us otherwise, but we got to keep fighting. Like, they put that voice inside us, but it's not ours. Like, we deserve happiness. Like, both you and me. You know, let's go fight for it. And don't worry, all the glass is still broken, but luckily they're wearing shoes. So don't worry, besties, they're wearing shoes, so they're not going to get glass in their feet anytime soon, which sucks. You don't want that." Anyways, so we cut over to the infirmary where Sheila is still sleeping. Escapade, if you didn't know. And Tommy's talking to her, and he's like, "You know, they think my brother's the only... Like, they only think that my brother's the more important, powerful one. Like, I'm just the other one. That's fine with me. It makes it easier to slip by, to protect them, to pull a fast one. And they don't know about you yet either, do they?" And I need to preface something before I continue on. So a few years ago, in an Avengers comic that had Billy and Teddy in it, It was a weird book. Don't worry about it. So Billy brings up that both of them, both him and Tommy, have some flavor of reality manipulation powers. So I need to preface that. It's just one's really fast and the other one can use magic. Okay, Jake, do you understand?
I believe so.
Okay, it's been a while since I've read that book, so I don't remember the exact quote, but I do remember him saying that. I remember the art and everything. He's kind of just standing there low-key awkwardly. It was weird. Anyways, so Tommy is still talking about petting Walpurgis, which is Brielle's cat thing. And he's like, what can you do? They just think that you're silly like me, but I get it. But the thing is, we're in danger and I need a buddy. So I need you to wake up. So don't tell anyone. And can you switch to the next picture, please?
Uno momento.
Yeah, so he boops her on the forehead and she wakes up. And the first thing that Sheila calls out for is Brielle. And Tommy's like, hey, there's a monster. He's after kids. And Brielle is like ready in action. She's like, okay, let's go. Yeah. And Billy is taking Brielle to the chapel and vice versa. So is Tommy. And she was like, oh, absolutely not. I'm not setting foot in that thing. And Tommy's like, we have to. It's a secret door, a gate to elsewhere. And guess what? They all meet at the middle. And can you switch to the next picture, please? They kiss. They kiss. Austin, if you're watching this, you get gay shit this week. Are you happy? Yay! Gay shit. Jake, how do you feel?
We'll pour out one in Austin's grave so he knows that it was gay.
It was gay. That's the only reason why Austin shows up for the Tuesday nights is for me to talk about gay shit.
That's true. He said so himself.
Yeah, he said so himself. He was upset when I forgot to send him something gay last Tuesday because I wasn't there. But I made up for it. Don't worry. I sent some gay shit. And so, you know, Billy's like, I told you they'd smooch, you know, because he was right. He's a shipper at heart, like a lot of us are. So the Goyleys are following the kiddos down to the chapel door. And guess who pulls up? Blackheart pulls up, or whatever the fuck his name was. And he's like, I've been patient and merciful, but the game is done, little one. And so Sheila's like, please, they're just kids. They're innocent. They deserve the chance. And Blackheart's like, no one's innocent. And Brielle's like, fine, we'll do this the hard way then. And Darkheart's like, or Blackheart, I don't remember the fucking name. Sorry, my bad. He's like, that is my preference, little Dampier, along the way. And hard, which is, why would you say it like that? And she was like, this is just crazy. Like, I'll just switch with him and clear the path to the chapel. And Blackheart's like, no. And Brielle's like, do it. And she was like, okay, kids, get in front of me and get ready to run. And something is happening. She is consumed by a weird pink aura. She's like, what is happening? And Blackheart's like, nah, you had no right. My mind is my own place, and we carry hell within us. And so Sheila is like covered in like this weird aura thing. And she starts saying some cool things. She's like, I am the demon of Christ's down, the spike of the blossom, the briar upon the hill, born of lust, coiled and curdled, love bent to will, flesh torn to shape. Bristling, knotted, twisted, agony, power, pain, stench of smoke and burning ink, and without rose the thorn, which is some poetry shit. And, you know, Brielle's looking after the kiddos. And so Sheila like breaks free from that aura thing, and she's like in tears, and she's like, Father, if I am wicked, then why do I smell like roses? And I don't know where that fucking comes from. If you asked me, I would not be able to tell you, bestie. My bad. Hold on. What does Austin say? My grandma loves Witch's voice. Thanks. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do not, unfortunately. Anyways, so Sheila's like, you're just like, you never had a chance. And Blackheart is like on the ground, and he gets up and he's like, go, run, be good, be happy, be human, like be whatever I can never be. And so they run down to the chapel. Right, that's what the Goylies and the kiddos are doing. And so we cut over to Mephisto being a bitch because Jake, remember, Mephisto's a bitch, right?
I mean, he broke up a marriage. Yeah.
Exactly. And he wants to kill kids. So
Well, that's a side effect of bringing up the marriage.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I know technically these kids aren't technically real. We don't have to get into that. If you want to know more, go read the Young Avengers Paradox comics. I don't remember what they're called. Leave me alone. And so Mephisto, he's like looking beyond. He's like, well, I suppose it falls to me as ever to be the bad guy. And it continues next week. Jake, what do you think's gonna happen next week?
Are we gonna kill Mephisto with guns and shit?
Yeah, like how that one person tried to kill Sonic with guns.
Right.
And I saw a little sneak
Wait, hold.
Pause.
Austin says,
yeah,
my grandma loves Witch's voice.
Slay.
There you go.
I brought that
All right.
up.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
You did?
I just brought it up. So
okay.
what the writer, what our lovely writer posted on Twitter, we are going to get a low-key Young Avengers reunion. And you might be wondering, what the hell are you talking about, bestie? Well, do you remember from the last issue when we got Iron Lad back? Well, he's back tomorrow, besties. I can't guarantee that there's going to be gay shit in the next issue, but there'll be Young Avengers, so that's gay adjacent anyway. Hey! That's it.
Okay.
Man,
we got the whole thing working. All right, well.
Gotcha.
Yay,
All right.
Yay.
Well, with that, let's move on to the next comic audience. So, next one, Frankenstein #4 audience.
Oh, let me get my glasses on so that I can read. Hello, I'm back. Long time no see, buddy.
I get the quip there, which long time no see, eh?
Long time no see.
Yep. So audience, this is the finale of this otherwise wonderful series.
It's wonderful miniseries. I don't know. Yep. We'll discuss who comes next, but we gotta we gotta start the book. Okay. I don't know if Cryptid posted any other pictures, but we got the cover.
Yeah, we just got the cover for this one. If y'all want to see the comic itself, go read it.
Or you can just hit me up and I'll send you some cool art on my socials. So go follow me on my socials, bestie. I forgot to put my Newgrounds on my link tree, so it's not fully updated yet.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
so do you want to take the lead on this one, Witch, or
I'll start it and then I'll let you do some more things.
Gotcha.
That it's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off. So it starts off in the past. Oh, who would have thunk? Where our trio of adults, Elizabeth, Henry, and I think Robert. I think that's what his name was. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're watching a guy get executed, and Elizabeth is like, "It's barbaric," and Henry's like, "It is necessary," because he wants something from this guy, obviously.
Oh yeah.
We cannot have nice things, right? Yes, we cannot have nice things. Give me a second. Okay. So, Elizabeth is like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right, and all this other stuff. And Henry's like, it'll be useful. It's called progress. This man is a beast. Won't hurt anyone ever again. Who knows? He can be quite useful. And she's like, useful? And Robert's like, I think that's more than enough. Can't you see that she's upset? You must admit your recent obsession with death has been a pretty unnerving, bestie. And Henry, being actually unnerving, he's like, oh, do I unnerve? And this is like, okay, alone. He didn't do anything. Okay. And I'm occupied with work. I know how you've been occupied. Work's been crazy. And he's like, but my experiment is almost finished. I only need a few more pieces. And Elizabeth's like, this is all you can speak about lately, Henry. I'm just And then we see the person who's about to commit the execution is like, any last words? And Elizabeth turns around because she doesn't want to watch this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy gonna get hanged. Hung? Hanged.
Hung, yeah.
Hung?
Hanged.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
He's like, no one will ever understand. Shink.
Yep.
Oh my fucking god, he fucking dead. We see a whole bunch of eyeballs around this guy. And you might be wondering, what is the issue called? You cry in anguish. It's called the eyes of a monster. So we see a whole bunch of eyeballs. And
you see the eyeballs specifically from the audience who are all watching, and everybody has a different reaction. Some
guess
are
what? There's a
surprised,
thing about
some are crying. Mm-hmm.
There's a thing about this that all of the spectators' eyes, like their skin around them, is red, and their irises all look the same. While the guy who got hanged, whatever, his eyes are green, like a light green, and he has like the normal skin tone, like a grayish skin tone. We see his eyeball getting taken out of his sockets with the
extracted.
Yeah, extracted. Words are hard, cryptid.
Yeah.
Words are hard. Anyways.
Being live is hard, audience, too, so cut us some slack. So.
Yeah, especially if you're made of other people's body parts.
I
mean, Adam was doing great before Crimson showed up, but this is not a Christopher Chaos talk. This is Universal Monsters Frankenstein. There's a difference.
That's
Anyways,
true.
We cut over to the present-ish, where we see we see the creature walking down, and a little girl says hello to him and asks us if he wants to play with her. And so he agrees in the only way that he knows how, and they start playing with flowers. Ew, flowers, little daisies. So we see the little girl throwing daisies into the river. And keep in mind, the creature doesn't know better. This is the only time where I would give someone with an adult physique any excuses, because he was literally just born not too long ago. So he doesn't know better. So he grabs her and throws her into the lake, unknowing that she can't swim. Bitch, learn how to swim. Maybe you won't die next time. Have you ever thought about it?
It doesn't take much effort to doggy paddle, just saying,
Like, doggy paddle if you need to, man. It'll keep you alive. Not us giving shit to a little girl who got killed. Like, unintentionally, accidentally, but still. Anyway, so the creature's like, he's like freaking out because he didn't know that he killed this person. So he runs away. And we see this like farmer guy call out for Maria. That was her name. And he finds out that she died in the water.
Maria.
Huh?
Maria.
Anyways, so we cut over to another scene where we see a whole bunch of people, cheering outside the house of Frankenstein, and then we see people like being like, oh my, like concern grows over the public, where they see the father have like holding his dead child in his arms, and he so he's like, oh god, it's Maria, oh the poor girl, like murdered by my Maria, it was a giant, a deformed monster. And Paul, remember that little kid from the last couple issues, he's like, oh my god, alive. Oh my god. So we cut over to inside the house of Frankenstein. Oh shit. And why can't I think? You want? No, I got this. I'll continue. So basically, it starts off with like, first it was Fritz, and then he came for you, and now like just a little girl, an innocent girl, like Elizabeth. I'm sorry, like I did this, and he holds her hand because she's kind of like knocked out at the moment. Don't worry about it. She's fine. And Henry is like, and with these hands, I will end it with these hands, which is a full circle moment, because remember the first issue?
Yep, the hands of the father.
Exactly. So a crowd of pitchforks and torches, mostly just torches, not really pitchforks, which I'm kind of disappointed, Austin, if you're watching this, are you disappointed by the fact that they don't have pitchforks? Because I'm disappointed. Jake, are you disappointed?
I'm very disappointed.
Thank you. So they're like, we must find the monster to the mountains. And so Paul is running into the crowd and is like, have you seen? And before that he's able to finish, this older guy's like, hey, like, this is no place for you. Like, go home. And Paul is like, I must see this through. It has to end, you know? And so the crowd is like spread out. We must find him. And guess what? They find him. They find the creature. They find him. Cryptid. Oh my god. And I think it's Henry. Yeah, it's Henry. And he's like, I callously thought to create life, but in all of my equations, I forgot the one thing that cannot be found in science. You have no soul. Like, I must destroy you, my child, my monster, and then we both may rest. And so the creature is like attacking him because he's like, fuck you, bitch. I didn't want to be born. That's your fault, not mine. But he doesn't say it. He just beats his ass, which me too, honestly. Me too. And so Paul's just watching. And he sees the creature lift up Henry and is about to carry him out. And so Paul is like, will you kill him? And the monster walks away. And so some guy's like, boy, like, I thought I told you. You know what? Never mind that. Did you see the doctor? Like, we heard a scream. And Paul's like, no, I didn't. And the rest of the crowd is like, oh my god, we found him over there. They found him at the windmill. Like, it's him, the murderer. But it shows specifically the face of Henry, not the creature itself, which it could be symbolism, I guess. And so the creature lifts up Henry, and he's like, fuck all you bitches, and yeets him off of the freaking windmill. Jake, thoughts on that?
But I don't really have any thoughts about the what happened?
The creature, Frankenstein's monster, got knocked out Henry, who is Frankenstein, by the way, and yeets him off of a windmill.
Oh, sounds pretty gross.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Honestly.
Spoiler alert for all those who haven't seen the original Frankenstein movie, 100 years later.
Almost 100 years later.
Yep.
Anyway, so Henry falls on the ground, but guess what? He's fine. He's alive. And so the crowd is like, we must have to kill her, burn the mill. And Paul's like, no, it's not his fault. Like, and so he gets like knocked back, and he's like, no, like, don't do it. And guess what? They burn the mill anyways because they don't want to listen to a child. And guess what? If you remember, the creature does not like fire.
Because the brain he had was from a serial killer that died by fire, audience.
Exactly. So Paul is upset because, those are the last bit of his father, like his hands, And so Henry starts to wake up, and he's like, wait, no, I have to see what happens. Like, please give me a moment alone. And Paul, is like, pulls up, and he's like, who do you cry for, doctor? Like, for the girl, Maria? Or could it be for that creature made from the pieces of my father? And he's holding like a sharp object. We don't know exactly what it is, but it's a sharp object. And Henry's like, you must be the boy that Elizabeth spoke of. Do you mean to kill me then? Like, I will not try to stop you. And he starts like saying a sob story. You know how it is. And then Paul's like, I don't care. I don't care. It's like, I don't care what you wanted or why you did it. You're not the only person who's lost someone. And Henry's watching the burning of the mill. And he's like, I was a fool to stare without hesitation into that blinding light at the heart of life, to lash out against the nature of the world. Like, please, will you forgive me? I didn't mean. And he has his face in his hands, and he looks back, and we see that Paul left. He's like, fuck this guy. I hate this guy. You're lucky I'm letting you live. A 10-year-old boy shouldn't be wanting to plot revenge for his father, but here we are. And so we see Paul walk away from the mill, and he meets up with this guy, this older guy. I don't remember who he is, but he's losing his hair and he has a mustache. That's all you need to know.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Do you see them?" And Paul sees like a couple of horses, and he gets reminded of his father who gifted him like a toy horse, and he's just crying, as you do when you're remembering the loved one who died and then had his hand stolen. And he's like, "I do," and they look off into the sunrise. The end.
Mhm.
So
Good issue, audience, but yeah, it was a fine conclusion. I mean, most of the issue was basically the finale of the actual Frankenstein movie, where the final battle was in the windmill and the town just burns the windmill alive to kill the monster. If I had like a little bit of one criticism about this issue is I wish we could have gotten more in-depth knowledge as to who the person got executed was. That's the person whose eyes ended up being extracted to be put on Frankenstein. We don't know exactly what that person did. All we know is the fact that it was that they mentioned that he did horrible things.
yeah, but it's a 4-issue miniseries. I'm not expecting too much to be
Gotcha. But
explained.
like in the past 3 issues, they gave enough detail as to who the person was that had their body parts taken to give the Frankenstein's monster. Like we got a segment between that guy who had his heart broken by that girl, and even some mentions of the father that the boy really loved.
Yeah, now
The
that
eyes.
boy's an orphan. Look at us.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh
cannot wait.
yeah. Happy ending. Yeah. Was this a happy ending, audience? The monster's dead, but hey, this kid's
I
still
think it was
normal.
more bittersweet.
Yeah.
That's how I like to say this.
Yeah. I really wish they could have given this 2 more issues to fit a proper trade.
I mean,
Um.
all of them are getting trades, like mini
Mhm.
trades. So,
No.
but
Mhm.
Cryptid, I have to ask, who do you want to be next?
Ooh. I kind of want to see the bride get some spotlight next. Like, okay, I want to see what backstory falls into her body parts this time.
I
So,
personally think that it might be either the Wolfman or the Invisible Man next. That's
hmm
my theory. We're gonna have to
hmm
wait until next
definitely,
time. So
definitely,
stay tuned for the new year, audience. We're gonna get another monster.
yay! I mean, this was such a great premise, audience. Like, if there's ever going to be like a history of Frankenstein, that person's definitely going to research this book to look up all the body parts. Hey, let's have a little fun with this. If us fanatics, if we had a chance to contribute our own body parts to create our own Frankenstein, what would you guys want to contribute?
My toe. You can have my toe.
Oh,
Be
come
right back.
on. You gotta be more funner than that, Jake. Like,
No,
okay, I'll bring it up.
you know
I'll,
that's a.
I'll bring.
Oh, just so you know, that's a Peacemaker reference. So
I'll contribute my fists because they'll be the fists of a patriot.
you can
There you
have
go.
my
I'm
toe,
back.
you can have my toe, my pinky toe specifically.
Oh,
Just
come
your
on.
I learned that
The
from the
the the
vigilante.
the toe of what?
The
Come
toe of
on.
the vigilante.
the
Okay, the toe
toe.
of the
No, wait. Jake. The toe.
The
I know
Which
that's all I can think about. I don't know. I still have to think about it.
okay, Austin, he gave his contributions in private audience. He would contribute the ass of a model.
Ah, if I grow out my hair long enough, I would donate my hair.
Okay, so the hair of what witch?
The hair of a witch.
Okay, there you go. The hair of a witch.
So I'll just
The
have to
hair
grow
of
up
a
a little bit, and then we can donate it.
gotcha. The
To the
hair of a witch, the ass of a model, the fists of a patriot, and what was yours, Jake? The
the
toe
toe
of a
of a
vigilante.
Toa.
The toe of a
toe of a
toa.
toa.
All right, all right. But yeah, a lot of fun. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out for the next monster miniseries. So,
Stay
all right,
tuned.
Actually, it's funny you say monster because our next book is monster heavy. This is a monster book. Okay. Okay.
go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
We
Bring it up.
are we are back in Metro Nui, and we are continuing Bionicle Web of Shadows with the Zivion arc, Part 1. Okay, I split this into 2 parts, mainly because I didn't have time to read the whole thing, but I thought it worked out anyway. So, last time, which wasn't here last time, but so you're caught up with the story. The Toa had been transformed into the Toa Hordika after falling for Rudaka's trap and getting injected with Visorak poison. So now they are part Toa, part beast. And their bodies are so impure, they can't even enter the Great Temple anymore. They can't even go to church. They can't go to Bionicle Church anymore. What's up, Witch?
Not church.
Yeah, they can't go to church. They can't pray to Matanui anymore. Okay.
What else? What else will they be doing on Sunday then?
Right.
Come on.
I guess chilling out, playing hooky, shooting up Toa drugs, whatever the drugs that they got. But
cosplay for 3 hours straight.
There you go. But so now they need they were told that the only way to cure themselves is to find the mythical Rahi man Kitangu. But instead, the Toa want to opt to save the Matoran first, and if they have time, they'll go find Kitangu, knowing that if they don't cure themselves in time, not only will they be stuck like this forever, if they can't control themselves mentally, they'll be like monsters forever. They'll be terrible people forever. So it's a risk, but a risk they're willing to take. The Toa split up last book, only to go look for parts to make an airship. But one by one, thanks to the secret ploys of Kraka, who was hired by Rudaka, the Toa found out that actually, despite being given the Toa stones, they were never meant to be the Toa Metru to begin with. Toa Likon had a whole different set of Matoran he wanted to give them to, but was told to go with the Toa team that they have now. So, as everyone is slowly figuring that out, Rudaka makes her next move to completely destroy the Toa. And this leads us to the Zivion arc. So you're probably thinking this is the Zivion on the screen. It's not. I made a bit of a whoopsie. See, when we review Bionicle Legends of Metro Nui, the last book, I thought that the movie covered everything that was in the book. That is not true. There was actually another fight in the book that wasn't in the movie, and so they fought this thing called the Tatarak, and it's a giant dinosaur-sized Bionicle Rahi beast. And the Toa managed to trap it underground. And after the events of the earthquake, the great earthquake in that book, it kind of got free again. And it was kind of thrashing around and everything. So I had to bring that up because I made a mistake. So it won't happen again. It literally can't happen again. But yes. So now Rudaka is like, okay. So we get a little bit more about her history, what she exactly wants Makuta's favor for. Rudaka wants Makuta's favor because throughout history, her and Sidorak have been battling for Makuta's favor. Sidorak has the Visorak hordes, but Rudaka is a cunning tactician, and they've kind of been tied neck and neck. Well, Rudaka hopes that if she can free Makuta from the prison that the Toa put her in, then maybe Makuta will once and for all find her to be more worthy to, be at his side. But to do that, she needs to make Sidorak look bad. So, she's playing multiple games here. She's fighting the Toa and her partner at the same time. Her plan really springs into motion when Matau falls for kind of this trap. He hears Nokama screaming for help, and he wants to go help her. But even though Oruni keeps telling him not to do it, because it's not Nokama, but Matau is in love with her. I looked this up. I am right. The writer clearly said that Bionicle can't fall in love, so I guess the rule isn't in place yet. There is an exception to that rule. From what the fans interpret it as, Bionicles can't be sexually involved in each other. They don't understand the concept of sex.
What? They're all asexual?
Yes, they can love each other, but they can't sexually love each other. That's
oh my god, they're all asexual, audience. Finally, yes. I have representation.
An entire race to represent you, Witch. Okay.
Thank you. Yay!
So now this is only this. Now we'll get into it way later. This will probably be months. This is only for the Bionicle that exists in this part of the universe. Okay, we will get into that way later. But for now, all you need to know is all the Bionicle here are asexual. So that's the clarification I got. But anyway, so Mattel falls for a trap, which gets him cornered by a bunch of Visorak, and the other telemetry have to race to help him. That's basically the plot of the Zivion Part 1. And Rudaka says, listen, once the Toa get there, I want to make sure that they fight our best. So we're sending in the strongest of all the Visorak, the Zivion. And what is the Zivion? Well, as they describe this thing, it is a creature of horror. Let me introduce you to my friend here. This is the Zivion. Now, this is the toy version. I don't really have any art for it, but this thing in the book sounds horrific. Basically, it is a kaiju-sized Visorak. It's not even really a Visorak, and when it kills its target, it rewards itself by eating half of the army that it fights with. So, imagine you're like cheering with the boys after you fought like a hard fought battle, and then like your boss just eats you. That's basically what the Zivion does, essentially. And this thing's drool is so big when it pours on you, it feels like raindrops. That's how big it is. Okay. So this thing is threatening to come in and kind of like take on our heroes, so they kind of have to prepare for that before it gets there. So we have Kraka, who's done the job that Rudaka hired him for, but he's also switched sides. I feel uncomfortable calling Kraka he, because Kraka keeps changing forms and doesn't really settle on one, so I feel like they're a they at this point. But it is what it is. So they team up with Anua and tells Anua, listen, I know we were on the different sides in the last book, but like, hey, we need to team up for now because Rudaka is a crazy bitch, and we need to be able to take her out. I do kind of like the Toa Metru starting to team up with things that they fought in the past, because the threat of Rudaka and Sidorak is so big that those past alliances don't even matter anymore. I do like that thing as well. There was also, again, we also see some more in this part of the arc of Vakama just kind of going crazy. There's one part where he saves Matau, and Matau asks him, well, how did you, he fights off some Visorak for him. And Matau asks, how did you get here? And he's like, oh, well, I used my fire. I burned a hole in the roof and I dropped in. That's how I made the entrance. And Ernie's like, well, you shouldn't have done that, because, the Visorak can just crawl into the hole now. And Bakam's like, are you talking to me? I did everything right. Why are you doing this? It's like, okay. And Ernie's like, okay, calm down. All right. So more things like that I'm really enjoying. And I also like, too, it is not really brought up, but I do like that how usually in these situations, Kama's the one to calm Vakama down, but she doesn't this time, because she's also affected by the Hordika venom, and it's making everyone act slightly out of character. Enough to let you know that they're off. These are not how they would usually behave. And I do like how weird it feels. Like, you're so used to the dynamics of the telemetry at this point, even if they are a bit like argumentative with each other. But now that they're Toa Hordika, you can really feel that difference between them, how they're not the same as they used to be. And while they do care about each other, there's a little bit of callousness to it. I did like that as well. We also got Wenua to go face to face with Sidorak as well. I did like the.
Wait, they're gonna become Juggernaut?
I see what you did there. No. The Sidorak's the name of the Visorak king. Basically, he leads the Visorak hordes.
So Juggernaut. Okay, cool.
Yes, he's a Juggernaut if he was a huge simp for Rudaka. Yes. So,
thank you for clarifying.
Yes. But Sidorak, we get the Toa meeting Sidorak early. It wasn't until I read this chapter I realized that in the movie version of this, only Vakama got to really meet Sidorak. The rest of the Toa Metru, or the Toa Hordika, I should say, never really had a conversation with the guy. So it is kind of cool seeing them talk to him before they get to the final battle. So I did like that. Like I said, not much to report here, unfortunately, because I had to review another book. I didn't have really time to get further ahead with this. But it's an exciting issue. I do also like to compare where we are from where we started. In the Borakau saga, well, I did really enjoy it. I did notice how hard the book would go to tell you that people didn't die because it's a kid's book. Okay?
Yeah.
In this book, people fucking die.
Yeah.
There's a chapter where you get to see how intelligent Vizrak are, where they can establish something, and and you see it from the Vizrak's perspective because it's never experienced death before. It's watching a Gecko bird die, but it doesn't say the word death. Instead, the Vizrak explains the process. Like it's like, yeah, I saw this thing fly over here, and its body slowly limped over, and I could see it fluttering for a bit, and then it stopped, and then its eyes went dark, and I wondered, like, what would that be like if I just stopped existing forever? I was like, holy shit, what's happening? And we also saw Todorok earlier that you just straight up see him like stomp on a Vizrak, and it just says like, the Vizrak got stepped on for the last time in his life, basically. So, I like this. Like I said, this book is kind of the darkest out of all the Bionicle books we've gotten to so far. This is the preteen era Bionicle, and it's fully relishing in it. So yeah, again, I enjoyed this series. You can check it all out on Crosswired Geeks. On the Biological Chronicles section. This is Bionicle Web of Shadows. But yeah. See you guys next week for the Zivion Part 2, and unless another book comes out, we will be reviewing another part as well. So, there you
go. Gotcha.
Yay.
Alrighty. I guess with that, let's move on to the next book, audience.
What the? No. No, wrong picture.
Oh. Dang.
Spoilers. Ah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so it's Ultimate X-Men. Cool.
So someone is messed up on the picks tonight. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's Ultimate X-Men, then Monster High. Got it. Hello. I'm here to talk about Ultimate X-Men, Volume 2, Issue 10. Do you like the art? Because I also like the art. It's cool art. Just to let you know.
Just saying which I bought the Scarlet Witch Peach Momoko variant this week as well. So yeah.
I wanted to try to get San Diego Comic-Con, but I wasn't able to, unfortunately.
Oh.
Anyways, just to let you know, Kanon is not in this book. So just letting you know that now. Anyways, we got our cast. How the cast is. So it starts off with rioting in the streets. They're like, mutants, get out. Mutants are among us. Monsters, get out of town. And, there are people who are scared. We see this one family that are being targeted towards it. And then the dad is like, Akane, don't open the window. You're scaring the kids. And he's like, no, we're not spending our lives living in fear. Like, come on, Mio, we got to go. Like, come here. And so the little girl is like, Mom, what are you doing? And so the people point out at her. And so the older brother, I'm assuming, he's like, do it, Mio. Like, show them what you can do. And she's like, no, like, you can't make me. And so there's a little brother. Okay. And he does a Sonic Banshee scream.
Dang.
I guess he's not Irish anymore in this universe. Thoughts on that, Jake?
Oh, yeah, Jake had to step out for a bit.
Well, Jake is dead. I killed Jake. Cryptid, thoughts on that?
Oh, wow. It sounds like you're taking a big part of Banshee's character when you take away his accent.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if this is actually Banshee or not. I'm just joking.
Okay.
You got to learn when it's a joke, Cryptid, okay? Anyways,
gotcha.
So we see a whole bunch of people, a part of the Children of the Atom, in their cloaks, and they're listening to a speech from the Master, or Mr. Sinister, if you guys didn't know. And one of them's like, oh, our Master has spoken. Does this mean we're going to war? Like, I'm scared. And another person's like, don't worry. This is what we've been training for. Like, we'll be ready. And so we see a whole bunch of news reporters trying to, like, get them to speak. Like, answer some questions. You know how it be. And they're, like, bothering them. They're just trying to be hooded figures in the world, as you do. And so one of the kids, like, one of the people are like, now it's time. And keep in mind, the reporter's still asking questions, and one of them throws a smoke bomb, and then the mutants attack. Oh my god. Shocking. So we come to Hisako's house. And if you don't remember, Hisako's not a part of the Children of the Atom. She didn't even know it existed until, like, maybe, like, a month or two ago. Okay? So, yeah. And so we hear a ding-dong at the door. And she's just waking up, and she's like, "Who's here so fucking early?" And her mom was like, "I know, I'm just like, and when I'm getting ready for work." And so her mom opens the door, and we see some people in like, with just like trying to be low key, because whatever. And so one of them's like, "Taco Ichiki home. Like, our apologies for intruding on you so early in the morning. We'll get straight to the point. Hisako, do you know about the 3 boys, like on the middle school basketball team, the middle school that you were a part of?"
Mm-hmm.
And Hisako's mom was like, "What? How dare you come here and ask my daughter that? I need you to leave." And so one of them is like, "Do you have any idea what it's like to lose a child? Like, my son would never take his own life, Hisako. You must know something. Like, please tell me." She seems kind of like the person seems kind of desperate. And so the mom's like, "I'm sorry about your kids, but it has nothing to do with us. Please leave." And so the person who is like upset is like, "You're one of the children of the atom. You killed my son." And so her mom, like Hisako's mom's like, "Hisako, call the police." And we see some of these shadowy figures, from Tsubasa, the Shadow King. And so it starts saying like an ominous thing, be like, "Mom, you got no clue. Like, do you think we're your perfect little babies? Do you want to know what we did to Tsubasa?" And it's supposed to be like shadow figures of the 3 kids who died, who off themselves, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so the parents in question are seeing this, and so one of the shadowy figures is like, "We'll show you," and starts like, he grabs the mom. I'm assuming the mom, and they're like, "Show, please stop." And so the other 2 run away, and like everyone's freaking out. And so Hisako turns around and is like, "Huh, Tsubasa?" And so Hisako's mom tells her to stop because she doesn't know that she was using her powers unintentionally, because Tsubasa is technically making her do it.
Yeah.
And so she lets go, and her mom was like, "What was that?" And like, "Hisako, what was that red aura thing? Like, did you do that?" And so Hisako runs away, while her mom is looking after the mom of the kid who died. And so we cut over to a swing set, and it's Tsubasa and Surge, and he's like, "You cut your hair," and she's like, "You lost weight," which, if you remember from previous issues, you know why he lost weight.
Right.
And so basically, Surge is like, lots of stuff going on. You see, like, those dummies really believe the master. And Tsubasa's like, I guess, like, so what? And Surge is like, "Hey, you want to join the party?" Like, and Tsubasa's like, "Well, maybe it's time." So, oh wait, can you go to the next picture?
Sure thing. Hold on a sec.
I don't remember what pictures I sent you guys.
Was it this?
No, it was not. That was the last picture. Stop spoiling for the audience.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah, we can have that pic for sure. Why not? So we see Natsu in bed, and her mom knocks on the door, being like, "Natsu, dear, did you hear the master's revelation?" And Natsu's like, "I don't care. Leave me alone." And her mom is like, "Oh, Natsu, don't be like that. After all your troubles, we'll finally find a place that accepts you. Like, don't, like, we can find." The master says, "Even like you're superior. Like, don't let him down." And she's like, "Superior, my ass." And so her mom, she's trying to get in. And Natsu's over it, and she uses her optic blast and blasts a hole through her wall, like her door, my bad. And her mom is like, "I am your mother. Like, don't you dare use your optic blast at me. After all I've done for you, and you're still a failure." And blasts again. And guess what happens? As you could see in the panel, oh my fucking gosh, she fucking dead with like a nice hole in her eyeball. Okay, that's what you get for putting your eyeball in a hole that was created by an optic blast. I don't know what you want from me, cryptid. I don't know what you want.
This is not something I will expect from a writer whose name is Peach, which, so.
Hey, it doesn't do flowery shit, okay?
Just
Even
saying.
It's gonna have body horror in it, okay? Let me have it. So, she's losing control of her powers a little bit, and she's like, "Oh my god, mom, like, make me stop. Tell me I'm a failure like you always do." She keeps blasting holes in her mom's body. So her mom is definitely dead now. Thoughts on that?
Well, what a way to go, you know?
Exactly. That's what you get for being an asshole to your kid, okay? Who has optic blasts.
Yep.
Anyway, so we cut over to someone on the phone. And we see this person with green glasses being like, what are you playing at? And so it's the master, by the way. And he's like, I swear this isn't my doing. I didn't say a thing. And we can assume on the other person is Viper because she has been involved in this. And she's like, you're telling me your your conditioned mind controlled army decided to act on their own reason for no reason? And the master's like, I swear I don't know what's happening. And Viper's like, you are the master or maester or whatever the fuck. Like, your entire role in this is to control, specifically, that's the in bold word here, control the children of the atom. If you're not capable of that, you have no value, and our deal it will be dissolved. And so the master's like, understood, Viper. And Viper's like, consider this your final chance. Deliver on what you promised. And so after the phone call, he throws his phone. And he's like, blood, I need power. Remember Austin from earlier? We were talking about this with the blood thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he drinks the blood of random origin. I have an idea of whose blood it belongs to. But hey Cryptid, who do you think the blood belongs to?
Who has the blood?
His name starts with Aki and his last name's and the other half of his name ends with Hiro. Akihiro.
Akihiro. Okay. That would have been my fifth guess. Does that make you feel better, Witch?
Last issue, we got introduced to him with all these tubes and shit in him, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so he drinks the blood. He needs the power. So we see a whole reporters talking to a different group of mutants. And they're like, the reporters are like, in recent attacks by mutants, why should we not be afraid of you? Like, do you believe your abilities set you above humanity? And this is multiple people talking. And they're like, that wasn't even us. Like, besides, that was self-defense. You flat scans attacked us first. Like, we have a right to defend ourselves. And one of these mutants in the first panel kind of looks like Eye-Boy. And another kind of looks like a Knoll. And one of them kind of looks like Rain, Sinclair, Wolfsbane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just letting you know, this observations. They're all in Japan, okay? They're all in Japan now. So we see another report like, oh, can you comment on the rumors about human experimentation? Like, are your mutations natural, or were you born this way, or what? And so another group of mutants are like, look, some mutants are born different. For some, it happens later, and it's science, not experimentation. Like, why not make people better? It's no different from wearing glasses or having a pacemaker. It's all in how you look at it. Master taught us to live in peace but prepare for war. Like he said, the time would come when the righteous would need to rise up against the unworthy to save the earth. Now that time has come. So yeah. And so we see a whole bunch of online posts being like, oh, being born blue doesn't make you homely. Like, wait, experiments. Does that mean that they were made? They weren't born this way? Like, obviously mind control. Like, I was born a mutant and I have powers, and I'm not a part of those children of the atoms weirdos. Like, mutant flex, lol. Because, like, keep in mind, not every single mutant is a part of the children of the atom. Okay, I feel like you need to preface that. Cool?
Right.
Prefaced?
Yep.
Anyways, so we see this group being like, oh yeah, we were violently attacked unprovoked by the children of the atom. Like, we're the police. All muties need to be put in jail. And we can assume, like, there's like a 50-50 chance that they might be lying, but there's also a 50-50 chance that they're not lying. You know, we don't know.
Yeah.
So we see some more news reporters going to where the children of the atom are. And they see the master come out of his abode. And they're like, oh my god, like, roll the cameras, he's coming out. Like, master, are you confessing to be a cult leader? Like, who's inside the suitcase? And the master's like, bless you all for taking time to come talk to us. As you can see, the children of the atom are a peaceful congregation. We have nothing to do with those evil in our name. Blah, 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 blah. And we see Viper in the back of all the reporters, you know, just kind of smirking. And she's like, a convincing performance. Let's hope this bought you some time. So we cut over to Nico's apartment, which I love how her apartment looks. It's very witchy-esque. We stand Nico, okay? Stand Nico Minoru. So Hisako pulls up and, you know, she's greeted in by Nico. And she's like, where's May? Like, what what's with everything going on right now? You know, like how's she doing? And Hisako's like, I don't know. She hasn't replied any of my texts. And Hisako's like, oh my god, your house is so cool. Like, sorry if you had to cut school because of me. And Nico's like, it's fine. We're already skipping classes anyway. Like, I don't give a fuck. And guess who we see? We see Mori. Long time no see, buddy. Oh my god.
There you go.
I know. We love her. And Hisako's like, oh, Mori, like, you're here too? And you could tell that she's a little bit distraught. And she holds up her phone and she's like, something's really bad going on. Like, look at the text from Natsu. And we see some of the text messages. And Natsu is like, I hurt someone again. My mom, I can't see you anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone else. And so Mori is like, what's wrong? Like, I'm on my way. I'm in front of your house. Like, you home? Like, where you at? Because, you know, concerned friends are going to be concerned. You know? And so
of course.
Hisako's like, what does she mean by again? And he goes like, I just heard a story from Mori. Apparently Natsu did something to a classmate. The classmate died soon after. Tragic accident. But Natsu blames herself. Which we don't know what happened. You know, sometimes it's hard for me to control their powers, okay? Especially if you have over one of your eyeballs because of optic blasts.
Yep.
Sorry, hydration time. Anyways.
Good.
So Mori's like, I stood in front of her house for an hour, but she never came out. And Hisako's like, everyone's acting so weird. Like, I hate this, you know? And Nico's like, how about you, Hisako? Everything okay? You sound scared on the phone. And she's like, I think I also hurt some people with my powers. My mom is upset and probably worried. Like, I can't go back right now. Too much happened. And Nico's like, so what do you propose? And so I'm assuming it's Hisako because it's off panel. And she's like, we accomplished nothing just sitting around my home. Like, it's so crazy. It all started with some stalker and now it's just so huge. I just can't. And so Nico, grabbing her bag, she's like, tis, you know, like tut, you know. She's like, no matter how it began, we're all involved now. Past time to take matters into our own hands. And so Hisako's like, what? Like, are you going to school? And Nico's like, no, I'm gonna find Natsu. Like, let's go. So we cut over to an abandoned office at the Children of the Atom. We see a shadowy figure knock over some stuff and all the other stuff. And can you now go to that other picture with the shadowy figure?
Okay.
Thank you. Now we actually have the picture, okay? Should have discussed this earlier. But anyways, we see this person grab a mask and then puts on the mask. To be continued. Then we get a lexicon, which is inside Nico's backpack and some of her wardrobe, which slays, obviously, because it's Nico. If I was to cosplay any female character, it would be this version of Nico. Specifically, this version of Nico. Okay? Because I love her. Anyways, that's it for this issue. Stay tuned for next month in January for Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Issue 11. You guys excited? I'm excited.
That's it. You know. So, alrighty then, audience.
Last book of the night.
That was the final book of the night. So.
No, I still have one more book.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry, I was just looking at the list. But okay, let's move on to the last book of the night, audience, which is
this one that I forgot to picture earlier. And I'm still sad that I'm not able to send actual screenshots from the book because none of them are posted online.
Right.
God, I have to adjust my seating position because it hurt. Okay, my ankles hurt. Anyway, so I'm talking about Monster High Howliday Haunt. It's a Monster High book. I have discussed this before. I don't remember if it was just on Twitter or if it was on here. But before you guys are like, oh my God, Frankie has another love interest. Like, operetta, get your man. They'll explain it later. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So it starts off many scaremasters ago. Ooh. So we see Frankie walking around the school because, you know, it's gonna be her first day of school soon. So she snuck into the school to check it out. She's having a good time. She's walking around. And she hears some whistling. And she's like, hello? Is someone there? And we see a guy in there. And we see a guy in a locked door. Like, it's like chained and like boarded up, kind of. but there's still a window where you can see his face. And he's like, if you don't like the music, feel free to scram. And Frankie's like, no, I didn't expect anyone else was here. And so he's like, you took the words out of my mouth. Like, most days I'm playing to an empty house. And Frankie's like, oh, well, I just wanted to learn the layout before school tomorrow. It's going to be my first ever school night. Yay. And he's like, first ever? Like, were you born yesterday? And she was like, no, I was born 14 yesterdays ago. And so we cut over to inside of the, like, on the other side of the door. And he's like, and so Frankie's like, anyways, what are you doing here? It's way after hours. And he's like, I'm always here, Stitches, finishing out a 3,000-year detention sentence. She's like, 3,000 years? Bruh, what the hell? Like, hold on. What would make you, how did you get a leather jacket and scare Joe in the year 1000 BCE? And he's like, nah, time's kind of screwy in here. Anyway, that class you're looking for is down the hall. Turn left at the mad science lab. Because he would know. He's been here for a hot minute. And Frankie's like, thank you. Like, I'm so excited to attend Monster High, but I'm so nervous I'll mess up and disappoint my dad. Because remember, her dad is Frankenstein's monster. Like, the OG.
Yep.
And he's like, parents, like, Pop's turning the neck screws on you to be the perfect little student. And she's like, no, not at all. It's just my dad made me out of the world's greatest minds and kindest souls, and a kidney from a guy named Larry, who was just okay. It's a lot to live up to. Hey, he did his best, okay? That's all that matters, okay? He wanted to make a smart yet kind being, and that's what he did. If you know anything about Frankie, you would know that.
Right.
So he's like, I think any parent worth a fang would be proud of their kid working so hard. And if he isn't, then he can take a hike straight to Hades. And so Frankie's like, that's sweet of you. I'm Frankenstein. Like, what should I call my first friend at Monster High? He's like, the name's Johnny Spirit. So that's who it is. Okay, that's who he is. If you didn't know who was on the cover. And he's like, but I wouldn't go around telling people we're friends. And Frankie's like, why not? Like, you seem pretty cool. And he's like, hard to win popularity contests when you're locked away for a millennia or 3. And the schools ain't fond of monsters who aren't big on order and rules, which fucking mood. And Frankie's like, is that why you're in detention? And Johnny's like, sure is. That and the time that I tricked Bloodgood's horse onto the roof took 5 gargoyles to fly her back down. Frankie's like, well, you went out of your way to help a total stranger like me. So I think your head and your heart are right where they should be. Which is kind of sweet, you know? Yeah, it's kind of sweet. Frankie has a kind heart, okay? Just like, let her be her thing.
Right.
And Johnny's like, you best get going, Stitches. You got a big night tomorrow after all. And Frankie is on her way to leave. And she's like, all right, well, let's make a promise. Once you get out, we'll talk more face to face. And don't worry, you'll always be my first friend. First friends, yay! So we cut to the present night, specifically present night. And we see Frankie, Draculaura, and Claudine. They're chit-chatting at lunch. And guess what, besties? We do get a Valentine and Spelden cameo and a Laguna and Venus freaking cameo as well. So don't worry, to all my fans of background characters. And before you're like, what? Like, why isn't Laguna a main character? I don't fucking know. You ask the people who write these. Yeah, I know she's the main ghoul, but Jesus. Anyway, so they're talking about the winter ball that's coming up and how they're like ready to slay, you know, literally and not literally, mostly not literally because figure of speeches. And so basically Claudine's like, well, I can't let Cleo show up in some gaudy overpriced gown, you know. And Dracula is like, speaking of Cleo, do you think she and Deuce will get back together for the dance? And Claudine's like, yeah, not likely. And so Frankie's like, what about you, Dracula? Do you have a date? And she's like, oh, I've been so busy that I haven't even thought about a date. Claudine's like, like, you don't got to worry about me. Like, I don't need a date. And why I don't want a date. Romance just holds you back. And Dracula's like, Frankie, has anyone asked you to the Howliday ball? And she's like, well, no one has asked me yet, but I did try making a date. So she actually tries making a date.
Oh
And
wow.
Arise, my creation. Like, I hope he's romantic. I hope he is a poet in as much of a poet brain as I could find. And
Yeah.
about to start speaking, and she's like, yes. And so he's like, AI art is a legitimate form of creative expression. And Frankie's like, oh no, he's brain dead
Oh.
because AI art is not real art. Just letting you know that now, besties. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
AI art is not real art. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
pay your artists. They're slaying.
Yep.
Anyways, so Draculaura's like, well, we're all alone, so at least we can go together. Like, 3 cheers for 3, claw some single goals. And so someone crashes into the, we hear a big loud crashing sound in creepateria. That's what they call it. And we see Johnny Spirit being like, that's not good enough. Students are missing. Our fiends are missing. But everyone's all thinking about a stupid-ass dance. Which, I know he might have been a little harsh, but he means well. So Draculaura's like, oh, God, it's Johnny Spirit. That ghost is trouble. And Claudine's like, he could take that trouble away from my brother. Like, why is he bothering Claude? And so Claude is like, hey, look, I get you're upset, but the student Bloody is like doing everything we can, like we're on it. We're looking at it. Like, there's no need to cause a panic. The best thing we can do is have a goddamn regular semester. And Johnny's like, nothing but excuses. And don't worry, Hold Tide fans, we do get a Hold Tide cameo. We get a lot of cameos in this, by the way. Yeah, but Johnny's like, nothing but excuses. Well, if our inspiring council ain't gonna do anything about our fiends, maybe I will. And then Johnny passes by Frankie and she smiles, but he's just like too upset about everything, so he doesn't really smile back. And so like Draculaura and Claudine are like being like, ugh, like Johnny, and like he can get out of here, And so they're like, right, Frankie, like, do you agree about all this? And she's like, oh yeah, well, dancing sounds fun. Like, she has to keep the secret from our friends, So we cut over to a dance studio where Cleo is there with Frankie, preparing for the dance. And she's like, is that you who dyed the white streaks into your hair? Because trust me, we know. And Frankie's like, what? No, it's like she's like, I can't dance. And Cleo's like, what are you talking about? I've seen you pull off dozens of fear leading routines. And she's like, yeah, well, I lost my leg in a golem retriever accident, and my dad has been so distracted with work that he accidentally gave me 2 left feet. Literally.
Oh wow.
Literally.
Bit of an oversight.
Yeah. And she's like, my rhythm is totally off, so I need help from Monster High's best dancer. And Cleo's like, well, you're right about me being the best. I'll help you if you vote for me for Monstrous Monarch, okay? And she's like, I got you, Beastie. Now show me how to goddamn dance. And so Cleo's like, fantastic. Well, I'm texting you some videos. I got a lot of other students to convince. Oh, I need help. So practice your steps, download my playlist, and believe in yourself. Toodles. And Frank's like, but you didn't do anything. It reminds me of that scene in Sailor Moon where Tuxedo Mask is like, well, my work is done. And Sailor Moon's like, but you didn't do anything. And he just goes off. That's literally that scene in this comic. I'll have to send a picture later so you guys can understand. So Frankie is attempting to dance a little bit to some of the music. She trips and falls, but she gets back up and she slays. That's what you got to do. Okay? Yeah. You fall down, you get back up, and you slay. And guess who we see pull up in the dance studio? Do you want to guess?
Another love interest?
I'm talking about Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. Well, your guess is as good as mine, so go ahead and answer.
Close enough at this point. Don't worry about it.
Got it.
And so she gets a little spooked out, and she's like, oh my god, you. And tries to, like, push him back. And she's like, oh, why can't I push you? And Johnny's like, deep down, because you don't really want to. If you want to touch a ghost, I mean, you need to mean it. You got to put some conviction into it. And Frankie's like, you and me, we promised that we talk more when you got out, but you lied. Like, I'd say it's like I'm invisible to you. But you actually talk to invisibility. Damn. Don't bring invisibility into this.
Yep.
And he's like, I know. I wanted to talk to you. I did. Thinking about you got me through those last couple days in that dungeon. But then I saw you and you had friends and you were popular and I couldn't ruin that for you. Couldn't smear you with my bad reputation. And Frankie's like, that's almost sweet in a self-destructive, self-centered, self-loathing kind of way. You were my first friend. It hurt me when you started like ignoring me. But friends like with you is my decision to make. Trust me enough to let me make them. And so Johnny's like, well, I've been a real screw up, haven't I? Any way I can make up for it? And Frankie's like, can you play at the holiday ball? Like, seem like I can only dance to your music. And he's like, you shouldn't go to that dance. Too many kids have gone missing, and I bet my violence someone at Monster High is behind it. And Frankie's like, I'm worried about the missing students too. Don't get me wrong. I get you, but you can't stop living your life, your unlife specifically because he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Just because you're afraid, like the whole school will be there. Like it'll be too crowded for anyone to get taken, which you've never had witnessed that in your a kidnapping in your life. Those are the perfect spots to get kidnapped.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
And so, Johnny is like, that's true. The whole school will be there, and that would mean. And Frankie's like, but if you really wanted to keep me safe, you can always ask me to be your date.
Aww.
And he's like a little taken aback by that. And Frankie's like, I mean, unless you and Operetta are still together, of course. And this is what I mean by the whole Johnny Spirit Operetta thing. So just remember that.
Yeah.
Talking about that earlier. Yeah. And he was like, no, we called it quits last semester. Turns out we're better bandmates and date mates. But are you asking me out, Stitches? And she's like, no, I'm asking you to ask me. There is a difference, bestie. Okay. And she's like, it takes courage to put yourself out there and ask someone for a date. Like, I want to see if Monster High's bad boy is actually tough enough to ask me out. And he's like, give me a second. And he faces through a wall and he's like, psst, hey, Venus, I need a favor. And so Venus, like, we can assume Venus gets a flower, like makes a flower for him to give to Frankie. And he's like, Frankenstein, would you be my date to the holiday ball? And she's like, maybe. And he's like, maybe. And then she gives him a kiss on the cheek, and she's like, you're cute when you're flustered. Pick me up at 6. And so they come to the Frankenstein household.
Oh, wow.
They don't have any pictures, unfortunately, because if you know, you know. But Draculaura, Frankie, and Claudine, all of their dresses are based on actual dolls that you could buy. I want to get the Frankie one so badly because that one's my favorite. Her dress is on the cover, by the way, so you're not fully out of the loop.
Gotcha.
I love it. So they get a picture taken, and they're like, all right, I got 4 hours of sleep, so I'm all ready. But Draculaura yawns. And so you know how dads can be when they want to take a bajillion pictures. And Frank had to be like, hey, no, I think that's enough pictures. And so Frankenstein's like, are you sure? I just want to capture this moment forever, especially before he shows up. And like, I'm looking at the actual picture that we see on Frankenstein's phone. Why the fuck can we see Draculaura? She usually can't see her reflection, or she can't be seen in pictures. Why the fuck is her picture taken? That's just that's the nitpick for me.
The latest update on his smartphone, I guess.
Yeah, you picture the vampires slay. So Claudine is like, okay, tell me about it, Headmaster Frankenstein. What happened to our quote-unquote no romance pledge? And for Johnny's Spirit of all monsters, like, girl, you need to ghost that phantom. No puns intended. And Draculaura is like, oh, leave Frankie alone. Who hasn't been a bad boy or girl or non-binary phase? Like, my thing is, you couldn't make up a monster pun for non-binary. Like, come on, you could have figured something out there. Come on, I had 2 weeks before I got to talk about this book, and you still couldn't think of something? That's just, you could have, you know what? I'm going to try to figure out a pun after this episode. So if you have any ideas for monster puns of non-binary, let me know. Anyways, so Frankie's like, I know it happened fast, but there was like a spark between us, And Claudine's like, girl, no. But guess who shows up right when that happens? Johnny on a cool motorcycle. And he's like, sorry, I'm late. I had to take care of some things at school. And he sees Frankenstein, and he's like, Mr. F. And Frankenstein's like, take good care of my daughter, Jonathan. I will be there to chaperone, but I must attend to I must attend to my work, so you better fucking not.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
We got
com-
comment. Hunter Geek, Comic Fanatic. Do you think we will get mentioned of Army or Rouge in Sonic 3?
maybe.
Ooh, that sounds like a question for Jake to answer if he was here. But hey,
I'm trying to save my voice because I have a bad throat.
gotcha. You want to answer this question?
Do you think?
Exactly. Back to my
His response was too fast. His response was too fast.
I think Rouge will get a mention and like a Shadow spinoff, which they will probably do if this movie does well. It's more likely we will see Amy or Silver. That's what I'm placing my bets on as a reference. So
I don't give any stock in them wanting to bring in Rouge for obvious reasons.
If they are, well, Sega's been trying to cover her up a lot lately. It's been a controversy that they are covering her as best they can. So they're trying to prepare her to be more kid friendly. So
hey, it's like the Jessica Rabbit situation, Jake. You either go all in or not.
See, that's what we Sonic fans feel, but that's not how Sega feels about it. So that's what it is. I'm sure they'll find a design that works someday. But anyway, back to Witch's review. This is Witch's time.
Yeah, a couple more pages. Anyways, so Frankie's like, "Are you sure it's okay for me to travel with Johnny?" And Claudine's like, "You're fine." Besides, Jackie Laura brought her dad's carriage, so I could just stick my head out at the roof and howl. Like, we're all gonna get there eventually, so it's fine. And so, she gets on the motorcycle, and they drive off to the school. And I kind of like that this one like full page spread of them just like driving in the moonlight to the school. It's nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we cut to the actual ball. We see a whole bunch of people in cool dresses and outfits and all that jazz. Torla is literally in her freaky do chic outfit. I'm just saying. Yeah. Also, Spectra's DJing, which makes no sense because it would have been Holt who would have been DJing. Because that's his thing, you know. I don't even know where the fuck he is. So they pull up into. So Frankie and Johnny pull up into the ball, and everyone's like whispering and murmuring as you do. And guess what? Guess who's also there when Claudine and Draculaura show up? In another dress that is an actual doll, we see Cleo pull up, and she's like, "Step aside, commoners. Your future's monstrous monarch has arrived." And so we see Cleo and Claudine bicker again because, you know. Can I be honest with you? Out of all four of these dresses, Cleo's is actually my least favorite. I think it's because of how the silhouette looks, but that's just me personally. I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the Howliday ones. Like Frankie's is not a Howliday one. I just like it as its own thing, but it's not my favorite. They're not my favorite, but I don't hate them. You know. Gotcha. Anyways, so they're all dancing. They're all having a good time. But Draculaura fell asleep. But don't worry, she woke up and they're all having a good time dancing. So we see Johnny put in something in the smoke machine. And we see one of the teachers is like, "Hey, what do you think you're doing, Mr. Spirit?" And Johnny's like, "Hey, just tying my shoe. Wouldn't want anyone tripping, right? Safety first." And so they're all dancing. And Draculaura went to go talk to Claude because if you didn't know, in G1, I'm not 100% sure about G3 at the moment. I'm not gonna look into it right now. Claude and Draculaura are dating. That's they had like a whole movie about it. Trust. Frankie's happy that she's happy. And so they dance. And so Johnny asks Frankie to dance. They're having a good old time. And guess what? The smoke machine goes off. Ooh. Oh no. And everyone's like, "Oh, what's with the fog machine? Like, what's with the smoke?" And so everyone starts revealing secrets.
Yeah.
About like themselves, you know? Everyone's freaking out and everything. And Johnny's like, come on, someone's gotta know something. And Frankie's like, it's like they're under some sort of truth potion. keep in mind, everyone started saying some more things. And so Dracula was like, I'm so tired. I have to be productive every second, every day, and I still can't keep up. Like, everyone needs to know that everyone needs me to be the perfect vampire like my dad. I'm trying so hard, but I just can't do it. It feels like I'm failing. Claudine's like, I don't think love is stupid, but my parents screwed it up, and I screwed it up. I want to be with someone, but I'm so scared that love, like, just means getting hurt. And we see Toralei right there, and she's like, shit. She's like, oh, shit, really? Damn. So we might see them get back together, slay. And so Claudine's like, oh my god, and I think Cleo's a better dancer than me. And Cleo's like, well, I wouldn't have to practice so hard to get attention if your fashion designs weren't as so striking and innovative. So everyone's like low-key bickering, but like telling truths about themselves. And Cleo's like, and you're not the only one who feels lonely. Like, Gulia's missing, and I don't know if she's okay or how to help her. No, Gulia. I like Gulia. She's one of my favorites. And so Johnny's like, why isn't anyone confessing? How could no one know about the kidnappings? And Frankie's like, Johnny, what's going on? Did you do this? And he's like, I put truth potion in the fog machine. Like, with the whole school here, I thought it would be a perfect chance to like figure out what's going on. And Frankie's like, only you can use a prank to try to save our friends. Like, Johnny, you are reckless and hot-headed and stubborn, but your head and heart are still in the right place, like where they should be. And he's like, I already took the antidote, but are you feeling any different? And she's like, I don't think so. Since you helped me dance, I guess I'm fresh out of secrets. And so this other person, we don't know. I actually don't know who this person is. But she's like, it was me. I gave Johnny Spirit a truth potion. And, her name is Brooke. I don't know what her last name is. But Johnny's like, Brooke, I told you to stay off the dance floor. And she was like, I know, but they were playing the Jaundice Brothers. And so everyone's upset. And so one of the teachers is like, I'll make sure you rot in detention until the school is nothing but rubble and dust. Jesus Christ, I think that's a little harsh. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, basically, Frankie goes to Draculaura and is like, Draculaura, we need an escape plan. Like, can you help us? And she's like, let me try something. And basically, she cuts herself and drops some blood to create, like, a mist so that Frankie can help Johnny escape. Yeah. And so they do leave the dance. And so basically, Frankie unlatches her hand, like her arm, part of her arm, and uses it to latch the door shut so that no one gets out. And so Johnny is like, so long, Monster High, and thanks for the memories. The kidnappers are still out there, and if they're not here at the school, then someone's got to go out and find them. And don't try to persuade me to stay. Trust. And, like, I know I can't persuade you to, like, come with me. And Frankie's like, a part of me wants to, more than anything, to find my friends, but also my friends, my dad, they need me. Someone needs to stay behind and keep them safe, too. And he's like, yeah, before I go, though, I recorded you something. Draculaura helped me with the set list, covers of your favorite songs to dance to. Sorry, it's on CD. You can only play ghost music on a dead medium, so yeah. And so she kisses Johnny goodbye, and he drives off into the moonlight. And he's like, I promise you, like, I promise and cross my heart that I will come back, and come back, and after all of this is over. And you know what? Frankenstein, you are the greatest mind and the kindest soul I've ever known. The end. So that was the end of the Howliday special. What was your thoughts?
Oof, that was like a good 30 minutes long, wasn't it?
Was it? I feel bad.
Yeah. Nah, it sounds like it was an enjoyable issue, especially for
shorter if Jake didn't want to talk about Sonic for 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
Keyword 5 minutes, sir?
Yeah, during my topic.
What? No, I was just answering the fans. I was answering the fans' question. My bad. I was just answering the question.
Yeah.
During my thing, I was getting to the meat and potatoes.
I know, but people, that's what I said, you know what, Witch, it's your time. You take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that because it was a one shot. But next week or next time we do a comic episode, I will be talking about the main series again. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I did like that tidbit about like Frankie having 2 left feet. I thought that was an amusing little touch right there.
I mean, it is also made up of dead people's body parts. So
there you go.
But yeah, no, Frankie She does have this reputation of dating a lot of different, or like crushing on many different guys. But honestly, I'm not gonna hold her to it. I've grown as a person to know better.
Hey, she seems to have a thing for multiple parts after all. So
Trust me, wait till you have witnessed the whole Jackson Jekyll whole tie thing, which we only saw Jackson once, and I'm like, he's fine, guys. Don't worry about him.
Gotcha. But all
That's
right
it.
then. I guess with that, yeah. Now we reach the end of the books, audience.
Also, audience, stay tuned for a potential special episode later.
Yeah, later this week. So, all right. We'll see y'all next time, audience.
Bye.
Close it out, Jake.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
We already have a song.